Hello and welcome to episode 22 of Unemployed to Unstoppable, where we'll be looking into the end of season review from the 22-23 season. So I will just catch us roll through the credits and we will see how the players got on last season. And welcome back. So here we are with a season review. First we'll look into the new arrivals for the season. Obviously Gomez came in. He wasn't the star man, Christensen was. So the new signings really had a massive impact. I mean, if you look at the number of appearances they had, Nia 49, 46 for Davies, Swiderski 41, Sweet 44, 39 for Christensen and 44 for Gomez. So them signings were a huge part in our achievements in the season. Barrington's showing on there. He's a new signing we've made since the end of the season when some players were let go from some Premier League clubs. And Webber was brought in as a reserve keeper who's not played any games, but he was just there as cover in case we had any injuries in the first team. So average rating wise, we've got 2 players above a 7, which is fantastic. Obviously Gomez had an astounding season and his rating is far and above everybody else's. So yeah, pretty happy with the arrivals. I think the fans and the board were happy with that as well. So season to remember, National League, obviously we came top. We did just break the 100 points mark, albeit the end of the season we did kind of fall away. I think players kind of given up by then. So it would have been nice to get a couple more points on the board, but as we all know, the promotion was the main target. I think we had a wobble near the start, 20 game unbeaten run, and then a couple of defeats towards the end of the season. So a pretty consistent season. We didn't have too many injuries till after Christmas, so we did pretty well in them respects. FA Cup, got knocked out by Barnsley in the first round. I don't think you could have really expected us to do much more than that. I did keep the attacking mentality and I rested a few players because the league was more important. FA Trophy, it would have been the 3rd time in a row if we could have got through and got a hat-trick of victories, but we didn't have as favourable a draw as we'd maybe had in previous seasons, and again it wasn't a priority for us. And then our first foray into the SPFL Trust Trophy, we beat Adrionians in the first game, and then in the second game we took an absolute hiding from Celtic reserves, and as I said in that episode, they were by far and away the better team in that game. Moments to remember then: 5-1 away win at Bromley, Forster scored a hat-trick. A 4-0 win at Sutton, Gomez and Parish getting a brace each, and goal of the season was against Hungerford in the FA Cup. Finance wise then, the finances actually look pretty good all season. We've not spent any money on players other than maybe signing on fees. It's been mostly about contracts, but we've generally stayed within the wage budget. So looking on there, sponsorship's gone up, but the rest of all our match revenues have all gone down. Merchandise wise, Gomez signing as a permanent player, seen him rocket to the top of the shirt sales. You've got Affelines, Swiderski, Paris and Roosh making up the rest of them. So not too bad. How we lined up for the season then, we stuck to that 4-2-4 formation for the majority of the season. And that is pretty much our starting lineup. Roos got injured towards the end of the season and was kind of replaced by Lewis to an extent. But yeah, I would say that is our strongest side. Maybe Meekings would have been in there if he hadn't been injured. He should be back for next season, but it does happen in Football Manager and you've just got to deal with it, really. On to the accolades then. I picked up 2 Manager of the Month awards, August and September. That was when we were probably in the 20 game unbeaten run patch. Player awards, so Fans Player of the Season, as we suspected, Gomez. Young Player of the Season, Gomez. Sign of the Season, as we saw before, was Christensen. Goal of the Season, Gomez. Top Scorer, Gomez. And most assists for, so which Gomez was pretty close to as well. So fantastic season from Gomez. Record breakers, so most league goals in a season, Gomez has broke that. Most goals in a match, Gomez has broke it. Most man of the match awards in a season, Gomez. Worst discipline, Davies with 14 yellow cards but no reds, which is pretty good. and mostly goals by a player. He's got 61 now in the 2 seasons he's been with us. Competition awards, I don't think they've been voted on yet, but if anyone does win anything, I'll let you know. So there you go. In summary, the hard work has paid off. We've got promotion. We're going up to League 2. There's a bit of restructure, rebuilding and change of some players just to make sure we've got enough first team quality to keep us up, and then enough potential to see us grow over the next 2 seasons. So yeah, that was the club review. I will come back if there's any player awards at the end of the season. Otherwise, I will spin through to July, and we'll see what we're looking to purchase in the transfer window. So stay tuned and I'll see you soon. And welcome back. So I've clicked us through to 30th of June, just before players are released by the Premier League squad. Our contracts that we've let go of left us in this position. So we've got a 22-man squad. I'll just take you through the squad depth to show you what areas we're looking at strengthening or changing. So up front, I think we're looking all right. We've currently got 2 up front at the start of the season, but because we're going to be struggling against higher and better opposition, we might drop down to 1 striker and go back to a 3-man midfield. I think the obvious option straight to look at is a backup on the left wing, and possibly one on the right wing as well, because Sweet is a centre mid, not a right winger, and Easy, although he's got some potential, isn't ready to be a first team player for this season yet. Centre of the park is looking quite strong. The only caveat I would say is Swiderski's had a lot of interest. I did have a bid for him to go to Middlesbrough with a 40% sell-on clause and £400,000 accepted, but he failed his work permit. So Middlesbrough have pulled out the move, but there could be more moves. He's unsettled and he doesn't particularly want to stay at our club. Same can be said for Christensen. He's in a similar boat. We're looking at offers to move him on for a particularly high fee with a sell-on clause, and Naya is a third player in the same situation. So arguably our best 3 players don't really want to stay with us for the next season. We want to move on to bigger and better things. So we're going to try and squeeze out as much funds and as many sell-on clauses as we can from that. Another place to look at strengthening would be a left back and a right back, because Naira Meekins are more traditional centre backs, and Davies is our only left back, because again Swiderski's a centre midfielder. And finally, goalkeeping's looking all right. So I will keep an eye out on players released by Premier League clubs. I'll do the same as last time. I'll make up a short list. I'll bring them in on trial and we'll assess which ones we can and can't potentially sign. Budget-wise, we've got £11,000 left in the wage budget. A little bit of wiggle room in the transfer budget, but again, we'll look to do free transfers and possibly some loans. So I'll click through again. I'll assess the Premier League releases. I'll make a short list and then I'll show you the first batch as they come in on trial. So stay tuned and I'll see you shortly. And welcome back again. The players from the Premier League have been in on trial. So I'll just take you through a summary of the transfer business we've managed to get through. We didn't get all the players we went for. Again, as always happens, is when you get your players in on trials and on loans, you make your contract offer, everybody else makes theirs, and you normally get outdone on reputation, especially when you've just come up. So a lot of players we missed out on, but I am pleased with the players we have got in, so we'll just go through them. We've got Ollie O'Neill. He's come in very flexible in the positions he can play. I've got him mostly because he can cover right and left wings, and he's also covering the centre of the park as well. So he's quite a versatile player coming from Fulham. So that's the first one. Then we've got Hino. Again, he's flexible. He can play on both wings. And we found last season that we don't always have cover on the wing positions, whereas I've deliberately strengthened to make sure that we can cover those areas of the park. He's an out-and-out striker as well. And he's coming from Chelsea. So he'll probably compete for an up-front position. He can also play on the wings. We'll just see how he develops and how he gets on. We've got Salah Oulad Mahand, centre midfielder, can play Mazzale, can also play attacking midfielder. Again, strength in midfielder. It looked like Swiderski was going to get moved on. In fact, it's got to the stage now where my chairmen are accepting bids on my behalf because the value's so high. He hasn't gone yet because he keeps failing the work permit application. Same as Christensen. We've accepted multiple bids for them to move them on and make use of the profit we can get from them, but they can't seem to get a work permit, so the transfers continually fall through. But he is a good option in the middle of the park. It gives a bit of flexibility. He plays a Mazzala, can play as a flat centre mid, so it's extra strength and depth in the middle of the park, which is a key area. We brought Joe Anderson in on a free transfer at left back. Former Everton player, has been at Birmingham as well, but we've brought him to compete with Davies for that position at left back, because as we saw last season, Davies, although he played well and he played a lot of games, he didn't often play anything more than, say, a 6.5. So hopefully with Anderson coming in, there'll be a bit more competition and a bit better performances at left back. I've managed to snap up a goalkeeper who's got a fantastic current ability. Again, there's work permit issues with him. It got rejected, but this happened last season. We were still able to play him, so I've taken a chance on him. He's coming from Liverpool. He conceded a lot of goals at St. Pat's Athletic a couple of seasons ago. I'm actually thinking he's going to become our first choice goalkeeper. And then at right back, I've taken in Casper Nilsson on loan just to cover that position. Again, a fantastic player from Norwich, and he's playing at a League 2 level already. So that takes us into the team report, kind of what our best team's looking like. Gomez and Hino up front. I actually think Hino can play left and right midfield as well. Swiderski and O'Neill in the middle of the park. There's lots and lots of other players in there. You've got Burnett, you've got Sweet. So that's a very competitive area in the middle of the park. And then at the back, you've got Naya, Christensen, you've also got Ferguson and Meekins, Nilsson at right back, Anderson at left, Davies, and then Jaros comes in at the goal. So I actually think squad depth-wise, we're doing really well, and that probably paints a better picture of it there. We've got Gomez, Afolayan, Hino and Parish up front. We've got Hino, O'Neill and Forster can all play on the left. Hino, O'Neill, Roos and Sweet can all play on the right. Midfield, very strong. Swiderski, Mahan, Summers, O'Neill, Sweet. There's some more in there as well. So we've got Barrington that's come in. Again, loads of potential. Burnett was a great player. So Ashley Charles, we're probably going to get rid of because he's not got as much potential as the rest, and it's going to be hard to keep him happy. And then as we move into the back four, Swiderski, I don't expect to play at left back. We've got Anderson and Davies in there. Then in the middle, we've got Christensen, Ferguson, Naya. Meekins should be in there as well. Don't know why he's not showing up. There we go. Yes, you've got Meekins. Barrington can play there. Kozak, who's come back from loan. So again, lots of players quite strong in there. And then at right back, we've got Nilsson coming as a first choice, but you've got Meekins and Naya can also fill in that position with Yaros and Parks in goals. So it's looking like we've got quite a strong squad. I'll just quickly look at the overview for the season preview, where they're expecting us to come. So 33-1. We're probably not going to be in that bunch at the bottom of the league. I would expect we'll probably be around mid to low mid-table, which isn't too bad for your first season when you go up a division. We'll see how the players bed in. It's a good solid 24-man squad. I shouldn't be changing anything now, and I'm not planning on buying any more players. The only exception to that would be if Naya, Christensen and Swiderski all get sold because they're unsettled. I probably will have to buy one or two just to strengthen the squad. But fingers crossed they won't go. They'll get happy again and we can carry on and evolve as a club. But yeah, that's where we are. What I'll do is I'll get us ready for the start of the season in the next episode. Again, put in the comment section if you think these transfers have bolstered our squad, weakened our squad, and where you think we'll finish this season. I think we've got a good chance for a mid-table finish. I think we'd be pushing it to get any higher than there. But again, we've seen before that if you get on a good run, your morale gets high, you can push on and achieve your goals. But once again, thanks for watching. Take care and I'll see you soon for the first league games.